Hi, I'm Sharon Renfro of SharonRenfro.com and Our Hearts and Minds. Our Hearts and Minds believes that we must open our minds before we can open our hearts to one another. A fundamental idea to an alternative way to understand relationship psychology. Now, this means that the key to relationship success is thinking. Now, today's video is on divorce, and it's part 4 in a series, and it's called Triangles, the Legal System. And I'm doing it in a different format than I've done the previous videos, but I'll be returning back to that way of doing them after I finish this divorce series. So let's get started on part 4. At one of the most important times in a person's life, when thinking actually alters critical results, we hire professionals to engage in a battle with another professional, to behave instinctually, to defend ourselves against our most hated enemy, our ex. Divorce separation happens in a battlefield of a courtroom or in a lawyer's conference room. Reduced to using our lizard brain instead of the most powerful tool or adaptive strategy gifted by evolution, which is thinking, we pay emotional professionals, mercenaries, to use conflict, fight, distance, flight, pretend, camouflage, and cut off, play dead. No matter how much we intend to pursue a divorce with kindness and consideration and respect, the process eventually collapses into the emotional heap of threat. Once emotions engage as the modus operandi, the legal system becomes the only exit. Governments have had to legislate our way out of relationships that were amazingly easy to enter. Anxiety pours onto the shoulders of the best legal representation that we can afford to fight for every scrap of anything that can meet the criteria of joint property. A couple may have next to nothing and fight for a piece of nothing until in reality nothing is left. Suspended from logic, divorce descends into the depths of early evolution and feelings, negativity at its zenith, and it reinforces every nasty behavior we direct our lawyer to perform. Divorce at its simplest is two people admitting that a relationship is not working for at least one of them. And what exactly pushes a person to demand that such a relationship not end when his or her partner wants out goes straight back to that first breath that we drew and began the early grinding of balancing the need to be an individual self and the need for a relationship. The settlement agreement truly reflects the total level of emotional maturation of two people. The lawyer's fees provide a similar indicator of how capable these two people are of learning life lessons versus the pursuit of emotional engagement. Society, social norms, governmental rules and regulations, etc., all reflect the degree of tolerance and support for an emotional process in divorce. As much as handing over issues to the legal system to protect ourselves as an individual from who once was the person we most cherished in our life relieves us of the intense levels of anxiety, that anxiety returns to each person when the court grants a divorce. Whatever blows have been delivered and or received leave us bruised and battered as we engage in some type of relationship with our ex, even if that is to never ever communicate again. If we had some awareness of the long-term results, could we or would we alter our course of action? Would it be possible for the legal process to reflect our values, beliefs, and principles instead of the sense of threat and all the negative feelings that go along with that? When anxiety accumulates to unsustainable levels between two people, at least some of the anxiety must be externalized. And each and every time that waste energy is put into society, all of us pay a price. But what if an alternative actually exists? Now, if these ideas have been beneficial to you, please like us so that others may find us. You may find more detailed discussion of these ideas at SharonRenfro.com in our free podcast series, Our Hearts and Minds, The Psychology of Relationships. And thank you so much for listening.